the Fed's criminal probe into Giuliani has been intensifying, given that new raid we've been reporting on, and a new confirmation that last year the FBI put questions about Giuliani to a Ukrainian political figure who was also in Mr. Giuliani's odd video that pushed the discredited Ukraine plot against the Bidens. It's the same former lawmaker who also tried to offer a supposed peace plan between Russia and Ukraine to another lawyer working with and for Donald Trump at the time, Michael Cohen. Now, Mr. Cohen found that representing and working for Donald Trump put him, as a lawyer, in his own criminal legal trouble. His home was raided, just like Giuliani yesterday. Cohen was arrested, just like Steve Bannon. Cohen's loyalty was not repaid in any public or visible way by Donald Trump, who released the dogs on him, telling the world to ask Michael Cohen about Trump's alleged malfeasance. Cohen was ultimately convicted, like other aides, Manafort, Gates, Flynn, Stone. And Trump did use his then enormous powers for some of those former aides, but not all. Now, one of Donald Trump's most famous lawyers and infamous attack dogs stands right now tonight at a crossroads like those other desperate Trump defendants, weighing cooperation and self-preservation versus defiance on behalf of a man who, this time, Donald Trump, no longer holds any power. Now, Giuliani, as we were discussing with our guests tonight, he found a return to the spotlight he craves by literally making arguments for Trump that even Trump's own paid staff wouldn't make late last year. That's why he was one of the last people standing in the absurd effort to continually contest an election that was obviously and soon quite embarrassingly over. He did it for the attention, for the fame. And as other experts on soured alliances will tell you, people who do anything for fame can be quite weak. As Aubrey Graham once explained about discarding disloyal colleagues, quote, "The point I'm trying to make is I don't ever need them. Seen what you do for fame. What would you do for freedom? Please, check them for a wire or an earpiece." Well, the idea there is clear. The idea is that if you will sell out just to get some secondhand clout from the boss, you can't really be trusted. And when the real legal heat is on, when jail looms, you may flip for your freedom. Would Giuliani do that? Well, the last Trump lawyer in this position had been publicly quite sternly loyal to Donald Trump for years. But as mentioned, when Michael Cohen found no loyalty from Donald Trump in return, he did cooperate. He may be the one person in America who knows exactly what Giuliani's up against right now, with the stakes high and the pressure on and the whole country knowing what happened to him. Mr. Cohen faced the same New York prosecutors, the same pressure on his famous former client, and ultimately the same existential question. What would you do for freedom? Joining me now, back on the beat, is Michael Cohen, former lawyer to Donald Trump, host of the podcast Mea Culpa, author of the book Disloyal, and someone who has walked this path and lived to tell about it and been a guest and an expert for us before. Thanks for returning, Michael.
How you doing, Ari? Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. I'm good. Thanks. We look at the parallels. Does it surprise you in any way that the feds were in Giuliani's office yesterday, and what do you think he will do?
Okay, so in your introduction on me, there's a couple of things that are not exactly accurate. First of all, I did not flip on Donald Trump. I cooperated on my own conditions. I never signed a 5K1.
Lawyer to lawyer, though. I'll let you finish. I didn't say flip on Donald Trump. I said, as you and I know legally, I said legally cooperate in that you were no longer someone who was fighting it to jury trial. You did cooperate and strike a deal. I did not use the word flip. Go ahead, sir.
Right. In all fairness, I also was not arrested. I was advised by my attorney on a Friday night, which was the first time that I had heard about any sort of charges that would be brought against me. Either I come in on Monday and plead guilty, or then they were going to file an 85-page indictment that was going to include my wife, who had absolutely nothing to do with anything, which is why I used, the money from the HELOC account that I did so that she wouldn't know. So anyway, more importantly, let's go back to Rudy Giuliani. What is he thinking? It's not even that he's thinking it. It's what he knows. Rudy Giuliani knows that he's in big trouble. As your previous guest had just advised, he ran the Southern District of New York. He knows exactly the games that they play because he's the one that created that playbook. And they take no prisoners. They did exactly the same thing to me. And here's the interesting thing. It may start with just the Ukraine, but that's not where it's going to stop, because Rudy is actually a stupid guy. And Rudy has no idea about technology. He says very dumb things when, especially, he starts drinking and he starts wanting to be this Tom Hagen to Donald, running around the world talking to people about how, in fact, he's Donald Trump's right-hand guy and he can get everything done. Well, as they say, the chicken's coming home to roost, and he knows he's got problems. He knows that it's not going to end well. So unlike what happened with me, unlike, Manafort, who took it to trial, or Roger Stone, who went to trial, I didn't. I pled guilty, and I got 36 months. So he's only right now imagining, what does he have to do in order to stay out of prison? Because Rudy Giuliani has no interest in being in prison during the golden years of his life. That I can assure you.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of heat, Michael. Take a listen to Donald Trump here on Fox Business.
Rudy Giuliani is a great patriot. He does these things. He just loves this country. And they raid his apartment. It's like so unfair and such a it's like a double standard like I don't think anybody's ever seen before. It's very, very unfair.
Is Donald Trump scared right now?
Yes, I think he's scared. And as I have said on other programs and, to the press, Donald, we have seen this before. We saw it when they came and they raided my hotel, my home, and my law office, right? And you decided that you didn't know who I was, that he was very angry that they had raided one of his attorney's offices. Donald Trump doesn't care about Rudy Giuliani. Donald Trump didn't care about Rudy Giuliani until Rudy was actually doing free legal work for him. And Rudy didn't care much about Donald Trump until such time as Rudy needed Donald's power and the office of the presidency in order to drum up business. So there is no loyalty between the two. Rudy will do what Rudy needs to do in order to protect himself.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.